Alright, so I think it's finally time to admit that I was wrong about the Switch 2. A couple months ago I made a video about how I was a little concerned of the direction of Nintendo and where the Switch 2 might be going, and I think at the time it was a pretty valid point. There was not a whole lot of games out for a brand new console at launch, and there wasn't a whole promise of games that were coming either. I mean, at the time all we knew about was Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, and you know, I feel like they were justified, and that's just a little bit of copium at this point. Because since then, we have been slaughtered and beaten up and thrown a bunch of games that I personally didn't think would ever be on this system, but here we are. I am making this video to firmly apologize to Mr. Nintendo and the Switch 2, so let's just dial it back, right? So even at this point, there isn't a whole lot of first-party support for this system yet. I mean, at launch, you had Mario Kart, and then eventually you got Donkey Kong, and now I guess you're talking along the lines of Metroid Prime 4, you have the new Fire Emblem game. I have a list here, hold on. You have, I guess, the Yoshi game, if you want to count that. I'm not 5 years old, I'm not playing that one. You have Tomodachi Life, I played the demo, that was actually really fun. Splatoon Raiders coming out, and Mario Tennis Fever, I guess. I mean, that's first party stuff, right? I mean, it's a mid. The reason I'm making this video is because of the third party support in 2026 alone. Now I have that list. Coming to the Switch this year, you have Elden Ring, you have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Resident Evil Requiem, I played through that and it was absolutely amazing. You have Pragmata, Cyberpunk 2027, I guess that's not this year, but that was out. Monster Hunter Stories 3, The Duskbloods, which is that new Elden Ring multiplayer thing for Switch 2 only, Tales of Arise if you're into that kind of thing, and you even have Final Fantasy XIV coming to the Switch at some point. And let's be honest, these games run pretty decent. I can't complain about the quality of these games. Maybe with Cyberpunk, I had some issues with it, especially, I guess really only in the DLC part of the game, where the game kind of slows down a little bit, but whatever, that's besides the point. I think the fact that it runs a game like that in general in the palm of your hands is pretty impressive. I'm gonna give Nintendo their flowers on this one. However, I am worried about the general direction of Nintendo with their first party IPs. As of recording this, yesterday we got the new Star Fox Direct, and let me tell you, it was a beauty. As somebody who's played Star Fox 64 on the Nintendo 64, I guess emulated, whatever, it's the same game remastered for the fourth time, or remade for the fourth time. Historically, the only game that's ever done that. And unfortunately, Fox looks like this. I'm just gonna let it sink in a little bit. That's the Fantastic Mr. Fox, I'm sorry. So for some reason, they decided to go in this direction of realism, and I couldn't tell you why. This game looks incredible. The character design is certainly not something I think the first time I saw it, I did like a actual physical like cringe in my face. I think I actually like scrunched my cheeks and was like, ugh, like verbally in the car, like when I'm watching this. I actually think I did that. So obviously artwork aside, that's something that I'm worried about, especially with the Mario Galaxy movie and how they portrayed Fox McCloud in that movie as this kind of cool like mercenary starfighter with a personality, and you know, and he was kind of cool. I kind of thought that, and they did like a little anime, I don't know, montage with him, introducing him. That's the kind of style I think would really work today, especially, I think that would really cater to the target audience of the Switch 2, right? Because the Switch 2 is supposed to be a more mature and elevated console, but I feel like the people playing it would really be in touch with that side of the artwork and art design of similar to the way the Mario Galaxy movie made Fox McCloud. This is like a stop motion, like animate, like puppet of Fox McCloud, and don't get me started on Falco's legs. That's absolutely unforgivable. But like I said, that's kind of what worries me, right? The general direction Nintendo's taking with their IPs, especially with like the minimalistic logos nowadays. Like there's no pop, there's no pizzazz anymore. Like everything's got to be minimalistic, and I don't know. I feel like that was Nintendo's niche. Was the flary. The minimalistic I chalk up to Sony. Like Sony is like as minimal as branding as it comes. Xbox had a little bit of flair, but I feel like Nintendo was like the outlier. Like they really stood above the rest with creativity and really kind of creating something a fan could relate to. Nowadays, I think they're riding off the nostalgia rather than putting effort into what people actually might like. But with all that being said, I do feel that my original worries are relieved just a little bit with the future proofing of the console. It does seem like as games come out 2026 and beyond, that most AAA titles titles or competent games might run well on the Switch. There are a couple of AAA titles that may not come to Switch, but I think for a Nintendo fan or somebody with a Switch 2, I don't think you're going to complain about the library of games too much. One thing in particular that upset me was the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, I think it's called. Didn't get a Nintendo Switch 2 badge. I don't know if they're saving that for a June Direct or something like that, where they throw that in there. I was really looking forward to replay that one on the Switch, because it's at this point the Switch is my main console. I really only play my Switch. Like I don't play anything else at this point, which is crazy to say, because when it came out I was like an ROG Ally fanboy, and that's really all I played. But now when I go to game, it's my Switch. I mean, I have the Final Fantasy Pixel collection on there. I'm playing through all those right now. I just played through Resident Evil 9, which is a third-party like AAA Resident Evil game, right? That just came out. I just beat that. Pragmata just came out. Another Capcom's killing it, by the way. But Pragmata just came out, another AAA-ish title. Day one Switch, I believe. And I know Indiana Jones is a little bit of an older game, but I remember when that game came out, there were specific requirements that your computer, your gaming PC needed to have to even run this game. So I know the game is technically in embargo right now as the time of recording, but it seems like from all the tips that people can give is that it runs pretty well on this system, which is insane to me. All that, and I didn't even mention the new 007 game, First Light, coming to the Switch, I think in June. That's something I'm super looking forward to. I'm a huge James Bond fan, and I can't wait for that one, to be honest. I'm probably going to hold off playing it before it comes out on Switch 2, because I think it comes out in May on other consoles, but Switch 2 was pushed back a month or so. But I'm willing to wait, because my Switch 2 has been my baby right now. Now, one of the biggest things that also worries me is that where is the pricing going to go for this console in the future? Are we going to be seeing price hikes on this console? It's still listed at $450 everywhere, and you can get it at $500 with Mario Kart, saving you around $30. But hey, what's going to happen, right? I mean, are we going to end up seeing a price hike for, you know, a $50 price hike for this console? Or, you know, especially as the RAM shortage continues, are we going to be worrying about that in the future? I don't know. So kind of just a ping pong back and forth between the pros and cons. A pro would be that they seem to be doing this thing with their games where the physical release is $10 more than the digital release, which sounds bad, but it's actually good, because the physical copy of the game is regular like $60 or whatever, and the digital copy will be $10 cheaper. Like I think that's happening with Star Fox. Like it's a $60 game or a $50 game, whatever it is. The digital version of it is $10 cheaper, which I think is actually really sick. I'm a physical collector, but nowadays I'm more of like a selective physical collector. Like certain games I need the handheld copies of, but like some games I'm not super passionate about. I'll get the digital version, whatever. But I still think that's a neat thing that they do for people, especially, you know, games are expensive. What can I say? But that's certainly a pro in this conversation. However, one thing I don't think I was really incorrect about was the overall battery life of the system. I still get around 2 hours of playtime, and that's really, I think that's any game I play. Like even like the GBA games like Fire Red that I'm playing through, I feel like that still only lasts me 2 hours, which is insane, because I got more battery on my Game Boy if I wanted to play it, you know? So I guess that's not really something that we could really improve, right? I mean, I just carry a portable power bank with me all the time for work and just in general, so not really super an issue, but I would like to see a revision of the Switch 2 model with an upgraded battery, an upgraded screen eventually down the line, which I'm sure we'll see. But right now the battery is so-so, and you know, a lot of people say they just have it docked most of the time, whatever, but hey, I mean, kind of knew it going in. It's very skinny console, which is super nice, especially a year or so in. It's like super still light and fun to just kind of pick up and play. It's a lot easier, so I don't know, maybe we'll see battery revisions in the future. When I made my original video, I really wanted Nintendo to prove me wrong. I think they finally are. I think they've come to a realization or a point. They understand their audience a little bit more, and I feel like the games they're churning out and the content they're putting out is actually pretty viable. I think a lot of people are gonna have fun with this console. I see a bright future. I don't see it as super bright as I want to, but it's certainly way brighter than when it first came out, and I can't really deny that part of it. And I would just love to see where this console goes. I would love to see the heights of this console. I would love to see how far this console can go after years of studying it and having developers work on it and understand what works and what doesn't. I think 2 or 3 years down the line, we're gonna see some crazy stuff happening on the Switch. Switch. We already know that the Call of Duties are going to be coming to Switch eventually, right? I don't think there's much out there right now telling us anything about it, but Call of Duty's on Switch. I feel like I've heard the Halo series is coming to Switch, and then who knows, Xbox just might make a freaking Game Pass app for Switch. I think that's rumored because Nintendo and Xbox are buddy-buddy. So I think 2 or 3 years down the line, we could really be thinking about stuff like that, which for Nintendo would be an enormous win, right? But we have to see what Xbox and PlayStation does with their side of the handheld market, although none of them have really tackled the hybrid market. I think that's where Nintendo really stands far and above and beyond of everyone else, is the fact that it is a hybrid console. It's not just a handheld console, right? So now it finally feels like the Switch 2 has an identity. This is the first time I'm genuinely excited for the future of the Switch 2. And I think Nintendo might have another massive hits on their hands. I'm talking Game Boy, DS, and the Switch 1 type of level of success. But guys, if you've been enjoying your Switch 2, let me know down below in the comments, and also hit the like and subscribe while you're at it. Plan on making more videos. If you've been wondering where I am, ask down below, maybe I'll tell you. I've been doing a whole lot of this stuff though. I've been playing a whole lot of Magic the Gathering. This is my new pickup. This is my Sonic the Hedgehog. He is fire, or I guess he's actually white, red, and white, or blue. Just a little, I'm gonna sneak this in the end here. I'm kind of done with Pokemon. I love Pokemon. It's just too expensive. Do Magic the Gathering. It's way more fun. If you want a video on that, let me know. I love Magic. I've been playing it every day. Don't tell Pokemon, please. Don't tell Nintendo. Shh. All right, guys. I love you. Bye.